All right. Good evening. Looks like the teams are in the lobby getting ready to start. And so we have Tricky Gooses and Cat Daddies from Division A. For some reason, my overlay broke, and I'm able to show the bands, but I guess I could mention them. So we had on the side of Tricky Gooses banning out Braxis and Altrak Valley. And then we had on the side of Cat Daddies banning out Dragonshire and Sky Temple, with Tricky Gooses taking us to Towers. So looks like both teams are ready. So we'll go ahead and get started. So Towers of Doom will be our first map. And we'll see what we banned out. Typically, we'll have either globals being banned out. You see more of a priority on offlaners at times. And certain heroes that are able to poke out the objective or the channeling do have high value here. We do see Stukov. And again, speaking of one of the healers that is able to help poke out the objective and stall, we have Stukov, one of those healers that has great value here. Lots of choke points. We do see Anduin being banned out on the side of Tricky Gooses. A Medivh ban coming through. Medivh, even though a hero that lies around 40% win rate in HOTS in general, still highly competitive and not one you want to deal with if there is a good Medivh player. We do see the global being banned out with the Haka. So now with the first pick, let's see what Cat Daddies decide to take. That reminds me to if you hear a ding that's from like my work email, probably should turn that off. I don't want that dinging going off during the match. There you go. So we see Greymane being selected by Cat Daddies. That's followed up by a Brightwing and a Hogger pickup on the side of Tricky Gooses. So Brightwing, one of the globals being picked up on the side of Tricky Gooses, and then Hogger, obviously still very powerful, be able to clear relatively easy, able to disrupt backlines. Let's see what Cat Daddy's followed up. A Johanna and Oreo, very interesting. My initial thoughts is Oreo being a very good healer, but doesn't provide. I mean, I guess Greymane could be decent, but you would always want a pretty good battery, right, for Oreo. So that's one observation. But as we get ready for the second round of bans, we see Akira. I'm not too familiar with a lot of the Div A teams this season, but that might be a targeted ban. And now with the second ban, or second round of ban, coming from Cat Daddies, we see a Deathwing. Deathwing is a hero you do see picked up actually quite often, I've seen in towers. So I'm still interested on the Oreo pick. But speaking of heroes that are able to poke the objective or the channeling, we have Junkrat. Lots of choke points, can get a lot of value, and you put that together with a Garrosh. So lots of displacement. So it makes sense. I'll say it makes sense that they banned it actually, but it was Cat Daddies that banned that out. And thanks for the follow, Shadra. We do see an Imperius and Kel'Thas. So something right away that you'll notice, or at least is the soaking, right? So typically you'll see an offlaner soak top or double soak top mid. And Imperius is one of the slower wave clears. So, but I've seen that strategies where they flip, have Johanna, have a Greyman be up there, Kel'Thas. And with the last spec, we do have the Hanzo coming through. So, again, Tricky Gooses having quite a bit of poke. But you see a little bit more of a beef overall coming from the side of Cat Daddies. We don't see any switches. It's going well, Shadra. How you doing? All right. I don't think anybody's switched. So it will be interesting. Like I said, overall, the only concern I would have on the side of Cat Daddies is the offlane soak. But like I said, that could be mitigated. I've seen Johannes go into offlane double soak, Imperius playing main tank.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
Okay, so we'll begin with Elf Boy on the Hawker, Killadin on the, was it the Hanzo, right? Birdie, Junkrat, Minikin on Garrosh, and Key on Brightwing. On the side of Cat Daddies, we do have Shupoff on the Imperius, Yuji on the Kel'Thas, Fence on the Ural, Magnetic on Johanna, and then Shy Guy on Greymane. And so we do see the teams moving up in the middle lane. Imperius splitting off top right away, probably understanding that he's going to have to do a bit of soaking. That's going to be a little bit slower. We do see the side of Tricky Gooses clearing and then rotating down. We have Hogger going up, spinning away. We do see Garrosh trying to slow down that rotation a bit, and able to do so for the most part. So again, the interesting interaction we're going to have to look at is Garrosh going to be able to get a pick off from the back line of Cat Daddies? Johanna, typically a tank that can make life difficult. We see Garrosh going to the back, does toss to Johanna, and Johanna does not have her trade and does go down. Good job on the side of Tricky Gooses. Just as I said, Johanna is the tank that makes it difficult for a Garrosh. Johanna gets flipped and dies. We do see the toss. And Hanzo actually leaps over the fence to the side where the tower is, and he will be going down to a tower shot. Very aggressive play, but they're going to have to back off. We see Imperius rotating down. And Garage, very good flip, but Brightwing still being harassed by the Greymane. And Garage is still, and he's not going to be able to be saved by Brightwing, and does go down. And during that time, Junkrat was able to pick up their siege camp. We do see, though, the Cat Daddies will be able to clear that up rather quickly. Greymane working on their own camp. They do pick it up. And so far, Mike... Oh, there looks like they're continuing. Not much going. It looks like Tricky Goose is going to be able to clear this. And so what I did mention is I thought that this was going to be something that might be an issue for Cat Daddies, but it looks like for the most part they've been able to keeping up on Soak. So we'll move back down. We do have Junkrat starting to channel, but backs off away. We do have his mine. We have the Gentleman's Agreement up top. And oh, they were able actually to pick it up. So Tricky Goose is able to get the bottom tower. Or channel, I should say. And again, with Junkrats and Hanzo, they're able to poke you from very far away, so it makes it kind of difficult. Even as a Johanna, as tanky as Johanna is, I know from personal experience, it's very annoying to get poked away by a Hanzo and a Junkrat. There's not much you can do there. We do see Johanna getting the trap. Oh, and it looks like he was trying to flip him over, but not quite getting it. But the displacement comes through. A Shy Guy trying to run away, goes into Worgen form, and looks like he's going to be able to get away, but not Garrosh. Oh, nice swipe. We do have the Hogger come back down. Johanna getting tossed again and does go down. However, Junkrat, or not Junkrat, Hogger having to rotate down. Loses a bit of soak up top, but I think overall they're fine. As we see on the side of Tricky Goose is picking up their camp. They're starting it. I thought they were gonna leave, but it looks like they are gonna stay. We do see, again, because of the rotation from Hogger, a bit of a push up top. Oh, and Oreo, it looks like Cat Daddy's looking to maybe get a Hogger pick, but Hogger is not the easiest, but the objective is up top. Altars are top this time, and Junkrat gets engaged on and goes down. So now Cat Daddies are positioned to take or invade the altar on the side of Greymane going to Worgenhome, and is barely able to get saved and does get away. Hogger spinning through, but again, they're able to get the altar on the side of Tricky Gooses. All the while, they're able to pick Kel'Thas. I didn't see what quite happened there. It looked like he was starting the camp or got picked on rotation. And with that, they're able to then invade the siege camp on the side of Cat Daddies. You see Tricky Gooses now starting to take the bottom tower. Johanna again being displaced by those mines, and as I said, Junkrat is a hero that just makes life miserable for a tank, for sure. We did see Greymane up top, but then rotated back down. Garrosh warding the bush. Decides to go up to maybe help soak mid. With both teams online, We do see the engage. Johanna's flipped again. Able to use the trait. And we do have Falling Sword come down. Junkrat using his tire. Rip tire. Gets him pretty low. Johanna is able to get Crystal Isis. Greymane able to get Junkrat and gets away with about 50 HP. Garrosh also very low. And the engage by Cat Daddy's able to get a few kills out of this. We see Junkrat go down. Cat Daddy's overall kind of low, but when you have an Earl, you know you're gonna be able to get that rather quickly if you're able to put some damage out. Engage onto the Hogger, and he will be going down as well. Greymane was able to get the channel on the altar. Then Pale on the Brightwing goes down. Garrosh trying to get away, but looks like it will be for naught and goes down. And a few staggered deaths now on the side of Tricky Gooses. And a very good sequence of events for Cat Daddies. Now we see Cat Daddies begin to siege the bottom tower. But seeing that everybody's up, decides to back off. We do see the camp, or the siege camp on the side of Cat Daddies available. Looks like they're posturing. And Tricky Goose is probably seeing Greymane and Imperious mid decide to invade, but they're returning back down. They have to be careful. Johanna actually being displaced, but then able to use Falling Sword. Dragon's Arrow comes out. Brightwing very low, but the Garrosh does go down. Brightwing not able to get away. Hogger comes to help, but again, two members from the side of Tricky Gooses do go down right before the objective, unfortunately. Cat Daddy's looking to get some good value out of this with their siege camp pushing, but they'll opt just to get the channel on the bottom. Actually, there's just a 2 altar. Johanna channeling the mid. Hogger looks like no, we're not able to get the interrupt. So they're able to get both. Now we do see it being 32-16. So if you're on the side of Tricky Gooses, you're kind of thinking of we're starting to run out of points, right? I mean, all you need one, and this is one of those maps that can definitely flip with most of Cat Daddy showing mid. It looks like they were looking to take bottom tower, but then back off. Probably calling the rotation. We see the ping. The Sonic Arrow from... Oh, the Impale on the back line, but... Imperious being alone has to be careful. It looks like they are trying to get their siege man. Hogger comes back down. Able to displace Dragon Arrow, misses. Reptile coming out. Imperious fairly low, falling. Greymane again, being able to get Junkrat, but he's flipped over. Brightwing does go down. Everyone, or a few members of Cat Daddy's being really low. They just opt to back out. Yep. I press buttons. Press buttons I shouldn't have. There you go, that's what I was trying to show. We do see this, as far as the siege, Imperious actually been able to keep up, surprisingly. Like I said, Imperious not really known for his wave clear, but because of the rotations of Hogger, actually has been able to get some decent value. We do see this be a 3 altar phase, and we see if top, it looks like they're Tricky Goose is going to give the bottom, and it looks like they're trying to invade top and trying to engage on Imperious. He's able to get away for a little bit. He gets flipped. Johanna able to use Fallen Sword. Junkrat using his Riptire, but Greymane able to pick him out. Oreo uses Crystal Aegis on herself, able to survive for a bit. Everyone's kind of all over the place. But we see two fall on the side of Tricky Goose, forcing them to back off. Cat Daddy's able to secure the top or their own altar. And now some difficult decisions might have to be made by Tricky Gooses. I'm having a hard time saying Tricky Gooses because it's a plural. You would say, right, geese, right? So whenever I say gooses, I almost say geese.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground center.
We see the boss being called. And it looks like they're going to be able to get this. And we bring Tricky Gooses down to 4. So it means if we stay how we are right now as far as towers, it would be one channel, or one altar. We don't see what the faces are. We do see Fallen Sword coming out, Brightwing able to get away. And looks like Tricky Gooses recognize that they have to do something. With a battle level behind, they're running out of opportunities. We do see the engage. Garage very low. Brightwing saves it for a moment, goes down. Garage and Brightwing do go down, and now we do have members of Tricky Gooses backing off. And it looks like they're just gonna have to go in and try to do something, right? Because this is pretty much GG if they're not able to stop this channel, but obviously going through a few members is going to be difficult. We do see Shy Guy channeling, and looks like that'll be it. And GG. Alright, so we see game 1 on Towers of Doom going to Cat Daddies. Here are the stats for you. And again, we see top damage with Hanzo and Junkrat able to poke out. And again, with a garage, very difficult to go into a garage and get into that back line. And with, besides Greymane, maybe Imperius, not really a dive team on the side of actually, I got it reversed. I'll say it's difficult to poke out, but they were able to secure the kills. I'm like, I got the team mixed up. Let's look at the healing. Oreo actually to put out quite a bit of healing. Let me update my information. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. After work. Not the best. Okay, so we have pick 1. There you go. As far as Siege, as I mentioned earlier when we looked at the stats, as far as experience, we saw Imperius actually keep up, but again, for the most part, they were ahead on XP. And the final kill count, 3 to 14. So overall, Cat Daddy's able to take control of that. And it looks like now we're going to be switching over to Cursed Hollow. So let me be able to join that real quickly. All right. So we'll be going to Cursed Hollow next. John C. says, Red Team seems to have pretty good target focus. I only caught the end, but it looks like that way from this screen. Cat Daddy. So it looks like Cat Daddies chose map. So it looks like we're gonna get started. Yeah, initially I thought that the poke might have been too much, but again, with more beefy bodies, and Ario did a really good job of keeping them alive during those fights. They got really low, but they were able to, survive. And as we saw in the stats, Junkrat and Hanzo did put out the damage, but it's, again, when you have two heroes to poke away, sometimes the challenge is getting someone who can finish, right? I'm in the lobby for the next match. I did put it up for a little bit. Okay, they're starting, so we'll be on our way with game 2 on Cursed Hollow. And this was picked by Cat Daddy, so Tricky Gooses will be picking first this time. We saw that Cat Daddy's had first pick last time on towers. The map was picked by Tricky Gooses and they went to towers. Now we got that flipped. Tricky Gooses decided to get first pick, and Cat Daddy's chose Cursed Hollow. Right away, we do see Anduin being banned. Yeah, that was the same ban as last match. So a lot of times we see teams just opting to ban out the same bans, either because it's a target ban or just a hero they didn't want to deal with. There we go, we see Medivh again. As I mentioned before, a good Medivh makes you pull out your hair. So if they have a good Medivh player and you don't, you definitely want to ban that out. We do see the Johanna being banned out this time. And although Johanna typically can make life difficult for a Garrosh, they decided to ban out that Johanna, not wanting to deal with it again. And now we do see Dehaka being banned out. Again, Dehaka brings great value here, being able to soak bottom, while the objective is top, and vice versa. So the Stukov we saw banned out last time is now being able to be picked up by Tricky Gooses. And then the Kira that was banned last time now is being picked up by Shubov for Cat Daddies. Maybe they made an agreement. We won't ban this and we'll let you pick it up. We do have a noob also being picked up. So right away you see a noob and the Kira. You're thinking dive, right? So let's see what Tricky Gooses decide to do to counter that.
I play to win.
Mecha Tassadar online.
And we do have Diva and Tassadar being picked up. So interesting. I guess they kind of see the tank and one of the divers potentially on the side of Cat Daddies and deciding to hold off on their tank and one of the other DPSs. We do see the Deathwing being banned out again on the side of Cat Daddies. And they said no to Greymane. Greymane was able to get great value last time. Actually dove Junkrat, I think, a couple times and picked off Junkrat by himself. So figured with an Anub, Akira, a Greymane would make sense. Now we see the next two picks coming from the side of Cat Daddies. And we do see Artanis and Tychus. Tychus being, I think, a hero that has picked up quite a bit more play after the more recent kind of rework he had. And Artanis being able to bring those blinds. And we see a Varian and a Maiev. Obviously, I assume that's a taunt Varian, the best Varian, right? Unless there's a Smash Variant, Twin Blades Variant, a strategy I don't know of. So we do see the taunt with a silence combo with a Tassiter wall, making it very difficult. So they have Maiev, Tassiter, Varian, Stukov. If they're able to focus on a target, it makes it very difficult for them to get out. We do see the healer being picked on the side of Cat Daddies being Deckard. So Deckard with rubies brings a lot of value, right? Able to kind of provide a lot of healing whenever the ruby's up, if that talent's picked. So here's a very interesting draft, and I think on the side of Tricky Gooses, I do like their draft, but given what we've seen, it comes down to being able to who can focus and blow up the other team. We've seen from the last match, the tanks were the ones who were the first to die. And again, as a tank player, I understand that feeling.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
All right, so we'll get started on Cursed Hollow. We have Minikin on Varian, Killidan on the Maiev, Birdie on the Tassiter, Key on the Stukov, and Elf Boy on Diva on the side of Cat Daddies. Shy Guy on Ortanas, Yuji on the...
5,
blinking out his name.
3,
Tychus.
2,
Shipov on
well,
Kira,
what are you waiting
Magnetic
for?
on the Noob, and Fence running out the team with Deckard. Deckard Payne, right? Building a city of potions. We see most of the members on Cat Daddy's mid. While Tricky Gooses do split off early, Diva going top. We do see Kira splitting off, going bot. Varian looking around. And again, as a Varian, you know that you have to just hang out until level 4, right? That's when you become a real tank. If you do go a real hero in general. We do see the dive on the Tassiter, but we're able to get away. Maiev harassing them a little bit, but nothing to worry about this early. Artemis able to get the soak top. While we do have the members of not Cat Daddies, Tricky Gooses able to pick up their siege camp rather early, but with objective top, that's a pretty good decision. We're going to get too much value out of that anyways, while the bruiser camp being picked up on the side of Cat Daddies at the same time as the siege camp. Tricky Gooses getting their bruiser camp with look like they're thinking about an invade, and they are invading. They see Varian is bottom. He's not a real tank yet, and they're able to invade and succeed. Very good play on the part of Cat Daddies, taking advantage of the fact that Varian can't provide much this early, and they saw him bottom lane, and now they're going to push. So now they get really good value from their own bruiser camp. It looks like they're able to secure at least one tower, and very likely at least the top lane. Maiev getting quite a few resets. They do have to respect it. We do see the silence coming out. And Cat Daddies decide it's time to leave. Obviously, we do see the variant going taunt. But even with that, not able to deal with Kira's damage. Does the engage, the taunt comes out, Maiev coming through, able to get the pull on the Kira in first blood. Going to the side of Tricky Gooses. Kira going to be down for a little bit. However, with that play, it looked like they almost got the channel, and it looks like they are going to get it. Diva was only able to delay for so long. They do get the kill bottom, but it looks like they traded one of the channel. And you look like he dove in. He does not have an escape. And he may go down, but Deckard able to come in the last second and help provide some support. That Maiev getting a lot of nice resets. He's deciding going through. Oh, and the noob does go down with Killian with 60 health. Zukov now being focused, trying to back off, and it looks like he will go away. And oh no, he does go down to the Tychus. So unfortunate timing. Will be out just a little bit after the tribute is spawned, so he might be late. They might be able to. I was gonna say they might be able to challenge this or poke this out, but they're not. They're opting just to give it up, recognizing that they're gonna be a man down. We do see the swap on the Tacitor, but it looks like Tacitor able to get away. But now Shy Guy having to be careful, but he's able to walk away with no problem. We do see Yuji soaking the top versus a Diva, and obviously Diva has to be careful. Trying to get away, but needs to be careful. All the while again, Boy is able to get away. The next tribute being in the bottom lane. Channel coming on. Anu pulls him back. Oh! If that silence was still there, did he take the reduction on the silence? Yeah, he did. That's one of the reasons why I don't like that talent, is because of that. If that was still there, that Grown Infestation or his silence was there, still there, a noob would not have gotten away. Wouldn't be able to press the Z button. We do see Fence channeling. Are they going to be able to interrupt? Tacitor gets to interrupt in the last second, but he has to back off. And we see again the channeling, and they're not going to be quite able to get there. We do see the first objective going through on the side, but they're engaging. Free 10 both sides. Yuji very low, backs off. Maiev also really low, being harassed by Noob. May go down and able to get away with 150 health. And oh, Noob is still chasing. Tacitor's also very low. It looks like will go down. We do see the Tacitor go down. And Cocoon, I don't think it was necessary, but I'm also one of those types of noobs that will use up that cooldown just to ensure the kill. And the variant does go down. All the while, this time, Artanis was actually getting some value top. Elboy trying to help counter that, but gets out of the mech, and now has to be careful because now it can die. We do see Shy Guy chasing, but with the tribute ending, actually we'll be able to get a kill. We do see the bottom tower going down, with top likely to be very low. With that, Cat Daddies right away head to their camp to start it. With level 10s, we did have Black Hole being picked by Tacitor, Massive Shove, Warbringer, Bunny Hop, and Warden's Cage. Now we do see the final strike. Cocoon, Commander, or Commandeer, Odin, Suppression Pulse, and stay a while and listen. Oh, we do see Kira go down while busy calling out the level 10s. Tricky Goose is able to get their own boss to counter, but we do see even the person down that decides to go in and fight, but I guess with the cocoon to get some value. Diva Bomb coming out, they have to be careful. Fans very low, be able to get away, maybe not. Black Hole does come out, and so the fight kind of all over the place. I'm trying to keep an eye on everybody. Shy Guy in no man's land, trying to get away. He's gonna get away. Oh, Shy Guy should be known as Tricky Guy. We do see the very not so lucky does go down with Cat Daddies. Yeah, we didn't see the protect from Varian. I was surprised, but that's something you do see more often as Warbringer, just because one of the weaknesses of Varian is the fact that once he goes in, right, he's kind of on an island. So again, with having Warbringer, you can go in and go out, but again, it's a trade-off. Shy Guy picking up the Bruiser Camp before the next objective. We'll see with level 13s, they're about to pick it up. They should be almost ready to pick it up if they decide just to give this up or not. The Bruiser Camp being picked up by both teams. Magnetic able to interrupt. Oh, and we had body blocked in this area, and we do see Deckard going down. A new very low. Stukov going down. We see both healers going down. Maiev actually going down. And we do see a 3-for-1. And I mean, that's something that makes sense. But now the gap growing about a level and a half on the side favoring Cat Daddies. We do see a push down here with Kira as well as mid. It looks like Yushi's going to be able to clear that up. Kira hiding in the bush, trying to give some vision. Ortana's still pushing top, and it looks like they're going to be able to take mid rather easily. Commandeer Odin being popped, likely to secure this tower. And they have to be careful now. There's 16s, but not everybody's right there. And a new being silent is not able to press his buttons. Does go down. And then even though they had 16, very good engage. Cat Daddies had 16, but weren't together. And under a tower, and they weren't even able to secure it. So this is a very good opportunity for Tricky Gooses to try and get back in this match. We do see, oh, Deckard able to get away. Ortana's trying to get the swap, but I don't quite know if that was going to accomplish anything. Warden's Cage coming out with a black hole in the silence. Oh, they're just bouncing back and forth. We do see Pike is going down. Diva getting low, pops her bomb. The silence again on Ortana's goes down. Kira able to get away. We do see Maiev still dealing with a noob. But he goes through, gets taunt, silenced, and all the sleep. Stay a while, listen, able to save the noob. He goes back in, gets Master Chef out. With a few members on the side of Tricky Gooses, they decide to back off. But again, you do see the value of Warbringer there. Very able to go in, go out. I guess Kira's, yeah, percent damage is a problem, but if you're able to get out, you also are able to avoid a lot of it. So with that, we do see Tricky Gooses getting their siege camp, get a little bit push during the bottom tribute. The team's actually engaging top. Diva in kind of a bad position. If she gets out, it becomes Diva likely going down. Maiev was trying to provide some support, but not able to do much. However, that provided a distraction for them to pick up the tribute, recognizing they're not going to be able to rotate down. Cat Daddies do pick up their boss, but likewise, Tricky Gooses be able to pick theirs. Noob looking to rotate down, but I don't think they're going to get there in time. Nope.
Petty squabbling. Gather tribute. Earn my favor.
Yeah, they did split. Cat Daddies deciding to deal with this, clear this out. And the objective is going to be favoring them slightly since it's closer to them right now, with the rest of Tricky Gooses heading up top to clear that boss. We do have their siege camp pushing top, but it doesn't look like they're able to get there in time. A noob digging in to make sure he can get there first, and again, Tricky Gooses are not going to be able to deal with this. Cat Daddies recognizing they have an opportunity to steal the camp. We see the ping for help being called out. The root Dorito comes out. The cocoon comes out on Tassador. Sayone Listen comes out, but no one was there. Diva jumps on point, and Kira gets blown up. Artana is now in a bad position and likely to go down. Yes, and we do get a 2-for-0 on the invade, so maybe not the best of an invade, and they also did not get it. Now with them cheating to the siege camp, but likely you have to, yeah, they sought him out. You have to recognize it's time to leave. So now Tricky Goose is in a very good position with the next tribute up top. The two members of Cat Daddy's not going to be there for about 15 seconds, 20 seconds. So it looks like this will be an objective secured for Tricky Gooses. If you're Tricky Gooses, you want to get as much value as you can. Uh-oh. Careful, Decker. We do see the channel on the tribute by Keith. They'll pick up Cat Daddy's Bruiser camp while they're at it. We do see the members of Cat Daddy's bottom to try and mitigate as much bottom of the bottom tower damage. But mid is going to get a lot of pressure with two camps on it. We do see the members of Cat Daddy's rotating back up mid to their keep. We see the siege now with a bruiser, two bruiser camps. Still relatively healthy. It looks like likely this will go down. And Cat Daddy's trying to buy time, see if they can get 20s. We do see the engage, one engage come out. Black hole, gonna disengage. Three members of Cat Daddy's in the back dealing with the Maiev, but Maiev really low, able to get out. Kara misses the spear. He's a new very low as well, going down the silence. Able to get quite a bit of value. We do see a 1-for-1 thus far. Very low. Not able to get away from the Artanas. Does go down again. Stukov also low. Likely to go down. And we do see ultimately a 3-for-1. With Diva still back here. Let's see if Diva is able to get away. And it looks like Diva is going to be going down as well. So what looked like a very promising siege opportunity went kind of bad, to say the least. Artana's looking like they're wanting to do this. Let's look at the level 20s. We do see no sanctuary, rewind, big red button, zealot charge, and respect the elderly. We have 20s online now again for Tricky Gooses. We see top off, demoralizing shout, stop and pop, shadow orb huntress, and Tacitus holding on, so we won't be able to see that quite yet. So overall, the lanes got pushed in quite a bit, except top. A noob helping deal with bottom, I should say. But overall, they were able to get half a keep for some kills, but it ultimately worked out right. But now both teams have to be careful. The next team fight or so could determine the match. We do see Cat Daddy setting up for potential gank. Artanis looking to see if there's someone he can swap. They're being patient with this. And we do see Tricky Gooses moving over to the boss to check it out. And maybe try and force a fight. They're going to go for it. Looks like Cat Daddy's recognize they gotta, yeah, they probably recognize that they're there, but they have vision on them, and they might be able to get it. It's gonna be very close. Tacitor, and their Noob goes in, stops it real quickly. Then we do see the Black Hole come out. Diva bopping. The Simon comes out, and 4 members. We do see a 4-for-1 and able to pick up the pause kill. Unfortunate. Diva's still up, but looks like we'll be going down. We do see all 5 members of Tricky Gooses going down, and with this, you gotta think that this probably might be it. We see Tacitor, Sukov, and Varian being the ones, and Maya being the ones closest, but 19-minute boss. Yeah, that core is going to go down relatively quickly. And with that, we do see the core going, GG being called out. And we do see Cat Daddies being able to take game 2. Congratulations. So, very exciting match. We did see Tricky Gooses. Again, I keep on trying to say geese. They were able to come out and push, they had an opportunity, but with that boss call, I mean, you got to respect the boss call. They recognize that you just got to make a play for it. They were just so close to capturing it, but Anib was able to get there in time to interrupt it. And then, as they say, the throw pit, but not quite. This match was a little bit more even. We do see 10 to 19 kill count, with some of the top damage being Kira, and Taika's being able to do a lot of damage. I'm going to see if I can message one of them for an interview. We did Mime actually being able to do quite a bit of damage, but again, they weren't able to capitalize on a few opportunities. Again, that mid fight when they got their objective looked like it was a good opportunity, but it just turned bad. And with the last play on the boss, there's not much that could be done after that. If we look at the healing coming through, we did see Deckard and Stukov relatively close. And as far as soaking, we did see across the board Cat Daddies with a lot more soak. But in the end, it came down to getting some of those picks during team fights. Some of the team fights were kind of all over the place, and I understand sometimes it's difficult to coordinate and press your buttons all on one hero, especially when there's a lot of swapping and diving and silencing. And so it looks like we will get one of the members of Cat Daddies to join us in a bit. Meanwhile, I'll put on the screen for the talents for those of you who are watching who are interested. And so we did actually, what was it? The Tacitor was the one that I didn't quite see was being held off and then go back to it. He did go with Kala's Gift, which is interesting.
Hi.
Hey there. Actually, wait a second. So we're joined by... Oh, Vinny.
I'm Shy Guy.
Oh, Shy Guy. There you go.
Yes.
Great job. I was like, it's Vinny. I'm like, wait, dude.
No, that's not my name.
Shy Guy.
Yeah.
So overall, first of all, congratulations on a very good series. And first of all, the typical question of how you feeling.
Feeling pretty good. Yeah, I felt confidence. They had us a little bit worried in that second one.
Mm.
We understood why they wanted that Stukov. But yeah, after 2 wins, it feels good.
Yeah, indeed. And so we maybe I'll have a couple questions about what happened in the first and second match, and we'll go back to towers. And
Hmm.
we did see that it was picked by Tricky Gooses. You were able to get first pick though, and we did see that you were banning. Oh, the first thing I noticed is banning out a Medivh. So I assume because again I haven't watched too much of Div A. That was a target ban, right?
Yeah, that was definitely a target ban.
Oh, great.
It seemed like they're playing something that we're not always playing against very often,
Mm-hmm.
so we decided to opt it to something more standard.
Correct, and that makes sense. If it's something that you're not used to, and you're like, especially, I mean, I've played against very good Medivhs, and also had a very good Medivh on one of my teams before, and it's one of those heroes where it's like, I just let's not deal with it. I'd rather deal with something
Yeah,
else.
it's if it can, it has the potential to cause a lot of problems, and we just opted to not have that problem.
Yeah, that's what I figured again because I wasn't too familiar, so I'm like, that has to be a target ban. But overall, in the first match, what I noticed right away was you had an Imperius, and just from kind of experiencing before other matches, one of the concerns I had early is okay, well, Imperius is not the best at wave clearing, so I figured that you might have to maybe send someone else to be either in the mid lane, to be more of a 1-1-3. But overall, actually, Imperius was able to do fairly well, especially against a Hogger who I would have thought was able to probably even push the lanes into an Imperius. And I thought what would happen is Hogger's just going to push lanes and then go help the team in the off lane. But it didn't seem like that was on. Did you feel like that was going to be a concern, or were you confident that Imperius was going to be able to keep up with the soak?
It was a concern. It was Shoepuff is a really strong player though, so uh it's concerning, but we know that basically our plan, I guess, was to sort of force them down and also bring Imperius in to win the gank. So Shoepuff is really responsive to calls for coming down to contest camps. So that was more so the strategy is not, yeah, we were like, okay, we're not gonna necessarily win the dual soak, but with quick reactions and the strong gank potential, just should give us the wins in the team fights.
Yeah, and on the side of Tricky Gooses, they did go with a Hanzo and a Junkrat with paired with a Garrosh, which can be fairly frustrating because lots of displacement and poke. And so, did you have any concerns about that? I mean,
Oh yeah, to start, it was really it was just a rough start. Because
mhm.
they were poking us out, and we didn't really have our talents yet, and we weren't team fighting yet, so they were poking us out pretty hard in the beginning. But uh, yeah, eventually once we started team fighting more, uh, I'm not sure if he was definitely getting those tosses, but uh, yeah, somehow it didn't completely work out. Is they were maybe too far back. It just didn't seem it didn't hold up.
Well, the thing is, once the toss comes out and you have heroes that kind of poke, it's kind of like okay, what does Garrosh do, right? And so I think maybe that was the issue that what I observed happen. And I know that frustration of being poked because I played tank, and I'm like, and I've been in a position where I've actually faced against the kind of that Konzo and Junkrat, where I'm just like, I don't know what to do. They're poking me from
Yeah,
20 miles
yeah.
away, but
It
it's
definitely. I'm glad I don't play tank.
yeah. But I think like you mentioned, Shipov was able to rotate down, and that's where you got value because once Garrosh kind of did his combo, there's not much he can do, right? And so it looked like
Yeah,
your Gray Main was able to go in, your Imperius was able to go in, and you were able to secure quite a few kills, and you kind of were able to kind of control the momentum, and were able to get quite a big lead, and
yeah,
and
yeah. They
and
sort of got stretched out. Like their Garrosh was forced to go in. That
mhm.
left the backline vulnerable. Yeah, and then it's sort of just going on the backline.
All right, and then obviously towers is one of those maps where even if your enemy has one, you have to be very careful, especially late game, because
Oh yeah.
it can swing so quickly. So how did you kind of enter that late stage? Because I know it's even if you're up, you know that two, three of you go down, and it could completely flip the map.
Yeah, I think just keeping the momentum and the team fight. We were just because if we got into a position where they're able to sort like their poking ability for the objective as well, like we really concentrated on just completely forcing them out so that they couldn't use it because that was definitely like a concern the entire game. But luckily, just keeping the momentum, we could just prevent any of that from happening.
Very good. So now let's move on to game two. So this time it was picked by your team. So again, I assume this is a map that you felt very comfortable on, right?
Yeah, it's just a comfortable map. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you picked it, you have to be least comfortable, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and so in this match, and so the first match was, you controlled it quite a bit. This match was a little bit closer, and we did see the Sukov being picked up because you were forced to kind of ban out, I believe, other heroes, and Sukov
Yeah.
went through,
Yeah.
instantly locked by key. And then on the other side, you got to get the Kira, right? So I was focused. I figured that's probably a target ban because it's out in the previous match, and so right away that was available. We see Shupov picking up Kira. So one thing that I did notice was, okay, right away you have your noob and your Kira, so I'm thinking dive, and so you do see the Stukov. Then it was the Tacitor and I believe the Diva, and so right there, I knew that they had a very strong combo. You do see the Sukov variant quite often. And did you have any concerns about that? Because that can be a very annoying combo to deal with.
Oh yeah, I don't think we even realized the potential of that combo in the beginning. So we were sort of doing pretty well, and then we sort of overstretched, and then we saw that combo come out, and then they were sort of turning it against us.
Mm-hmm.
Realized that we were losing some of those team fights, and then had to rethink our strategy.
How the match went, you were able to get the first objective, push it in a bit, and you on your part, you did quite a few good invades, especially I think before Varian was able to get his level 4 and wasn't able to pick up taunt. I think you probably recognized he was bottom. One member of Tricky Gooses was top, and it looked like you came in to invade, and you were able to get that. And that's kind of a theme I saw. You're pretty aggressive with the invades. So did you feel like you just wanted to be very opportunistic and keep the momentum going?
I think opportunity. Yeah, they were giving like when they would sort of it. At least what I saw was that like they would commit maybe 2 into like a far lane, and then as soon as we see 2 in a different lane, then we're gonna push up into the others. So like that sort of gave us space. So
Correct.
yeah, just taking advantage of every opportunity that we saw.
And then we eventually saw it being evened out. You were controlling early game, but then it kind of evened out with Tricky Gooses being able to pick up the second. And even then, they had, I think, 2 of the bruiser camps. And they even mentioned during the stream, it looked like this was a very strong position. They have the objective going. They have 2 bruisers. And I even said they're probably going to get this mid keep. But somehow, I think the objective ended. And then you were able to kind of turn it right under your middle keep. And so, how did you feel then?
That was sort of like the critical moment. Like leading up to that point, we had been underestimating them. So now we were really focused primarily on Stukov. And we decided, okay, we have to target him. And it's mostly just a follow up on our tank player, Magnetic, who's, did a great job initiating in there. And yeah, it was just a matter of focusing their backline. So we were able to sort of just contain the Stukov enough to sort of get that out. And yeah, then it's just a matter of time. If we can continue the team fight without a Stukov in there, then we'll be able
So,
to
and let's
turn it
get
back.
to the next critical moment. Obviously, nothing happened between both of you, kind of playing carefully, posturing yourself. You actually had, I think, a moment where you were trying to invade and you kind of went down, but because it's kind of one of those points where I think they moved towards to get. Oh no, all of you were up. I'm wrong. All of you were
Yeah.
up. Your bottom lane. They go beeline to your boss. Did you
Oh,
recognize
wow.
it right away?
We did not. We were still waiting.
Okay.
I didn't know they beelined.
They,
That's interesting.
yeah,
We sort of, when we got there, well, we thought, okay, well, maybe they're at our boss, and then we just made our approach really carefully. Luckily, we got there in time.
yeah, and I think it's just because they didn't have the best siege. If like they had a Greymane or something else like boss, but you're a noob. Your tank, Magnetic, was barely got there to contest it right at the last
Yes,
second.
perfect. Good reaction to immediately assess and dive into it.
Yeah, because
We figured, but we knew that we just had to go in. So
yeah, I didn't think you were gonna make it, and so it was kind of a very split second where that could have been capped, and obviously then they used the boss to kind of help them fight. But you were able to get in there, contest, and what were the comms like? I know those were very crazy moments.
oh yeah, that's just yelling. I'm on the point. Is just like, well, I'm on the point too. You know. Oh wait, we're gonna kill these guys. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's pretty crazy.
and it's one of those moments where they could have capped it slightly, and then the boss helps with the team fight, and you get 2-3 of you to to die, and we could have been going with the boss the other way, right, on to game 3.
That's right. Yep.
And
that
so-
would have been. Yeah, that was critical to. Once we were on it and committed, yeah, we had to stay. So, whatever it took, we were gonna stay on that point.
Anyways, but great match, and again, I'll leave it up to you to go back. I don't want to keep you too busy. Go celebrate with your team.
Yeah.
I'll leave it
Yeah,
up for you
thanks,
for any shout outs.
Nah. Oh, I guess cat daddies. Cat daddies for life. Peace.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. And with that, thanks. And we do see Cat Daddy's being able to pull off the 2-0 again. Very fun series to cast. And with that, thank you all who joined us today. Let's see if I can have some other caster. I don't quite know who might be casting other games that I'll send you off to raid. But with that, I'll end with having some music, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining.
like 3 times in a year, and